Morning, everybody. Today's a little bit of a different topic. It's of anxiety and panic. I've had it since I was 14, and I wish I didn't. It's very difficult to deal with. I don't take medication for it. I haven't actually. I never really have. I took it, I think, in the very beginning when I was first diagnosed as a child. But it made me sleep all the time, and I was kind of out of it. So I don't like that feeling. I don't like my brain, the function, the clarity of my brain altered. I don't drink alcohol at all. I don't do drugs at all. I don't do anything that alters the clarity and function of my brain. That alone causes anxiety for me. I can't stand it. Being dizzy will set it off, the anxiety. So today I'm really struggling, and I feel like crawling under a rock. That's all I want to do. I want it to go away. I want it to not affect me. I have my son's birthday party in a couple of days that I have to finish preparing for. I have work to do on the homestead itself, and all I want to do is crawl under a rock. It's scary. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just not something I'd wish on anybody. And I went to a counseling group once, and it was for anxiety, and they actually started it because I had asked them, and I was looking for new ways of trying to deal with it. Like I said, I don't take medication. I would rather handle it. I've learned over the years. I've had to learn. I had no support at all with this growing up, so I've had to learn over the years how to handle it. And I've come up with some pretty good techniques that work most of the time to combat it before it goes into full-blown panic attack. But it doesn't decrease, how severe it is in the beginning. So anyway, I went to this group, and everybody else there was on medication, and that's not putting them down. I'm not saying that everybody should do this without any type of help medically, like medication, but it was actually quite the reverse. People looked at me as if I didn't have this issue because I was able to handle it without medication. And I found that very offensive, the way that they talked to me. They said, well, if you're already cured, basically, why are you here? And there is no cure for this. And you can dull it, and you can treat it with medication. I just choose not to. And that doesn't mean I'm cured. That just means I handle it differently. And I found it upsetting because if you think about it, at least with these particular people, I have a harder time with it. Definitely, it's not cured whatsoever. And I actually, if you think about it, have a harder, it's more difficult for me because I have to focus on handling it when it happens. Right now, I'm talking to you and I have anxiety. I've had it all night. But if I didn't say it, you wouldn't know it. That's how good I've gotten at dealing with this, and especially in front of people. So I found it very offensive for them to speak to me that way, because I have to deal with this without the help or aid of medications, which to me makes this much harder. So I don't judge anybody for anything. I don't judge. If you take medicine, take that medicine. You know, if you go to the doctors 100 times, go to the doctors 100 times. If you don't take it, then don't take it. I mean, it's totally everybody's preference. I was kind of between my hating what medicine does to you as far as altering your functioning in your brain. I don't like taking Tylenol. I mean, I just don't like to put medicine and things in my body that aren't supposed to naturally be there. And I will if I absolutely have to. I mean, I get migraines. I have vertigo migraines. And when I get the migraines, they have to be pretty bad for me to even take medicine. And even then, I take Tylenol. So it doesn't kill it, but it definitely dulls it so that I can function. And today is actually the first day in 3 days, so far, knock on wood, that I don't have a headache. The migraine is fully, I think, pretty much fully subsided. I'm hoping that stays that way. Sometimes it does this, and then it'll come back later in the afternoon. There's a lot going on right now. I'm under a lot of stress right now, and so this is popping its head. I woke up last night, my entire body was vibrating. It felt, I mean, my whole body was just vibrating. And that immediately sent me into this panic. And I had to talk myself out of that. And to me, having anxiety and panic in the middle of the night is probably the worst time for me. Waking up with it, anything like that, that's the worst for me. I can handle it better if it's during the day. I'm already awake, I'm coherent, you know, it's easier for me. But I just wanted to make this video or vlog and try to bring a little bit of awareness to this issue. I've seen a few vlogs about people who have it, and I definitely sympathize because it sucks. It sucks so bad. And what I do, though, I just drop the kids off at school, and I will go in and I'm going to do more decorating for the party. I don't want to do that right now. Usually I'm all for it because I love to do these things, but right now with anxiety, in order for me to stop it in its tracks and sort of veer off to something else and get rid of it and not go into a panic attack, I keep busy. Like I said, when people with anxiety get this feeling and we have anxiety, we want to curl up into a ball and go into a rock and just be left alone. Or you automatically want to go to the hospital because you don't know what's wrong. That's something that's already gone through my brain, but I'm not going to go because I know what this is. There's a million thoughts that go through your head, things that you're like, well, should I do this and should I do that? And anxiety, honestly, it sounds unrealistic, and it is technically unrealistic to the majority of people and people who don't have this. But when you get it, it's an impending doom. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Life is over. I mean, it is just overwhelming thoughts that are really hard to control. And so I've come up with some tactics and things to do that work for me. And I've had to, survival of the fittest. I didn't have support. I didn't have parents who cared. I didn't have anybody who cared. I've had a pretty crappy life up until recently, and I've had to deal with everything I've had to deal with health-wise at the same time. So, I mean, when you're forced into it, you just do it. But I wanted to make this video, like I said, it's completely off topic, but it's worth it, and it's important that people understand. I mean, I have been told to go to church. I have been told to take up yoga. People don't take it seriously. My mother, when I was diagnosed, on our ride home, my mother was angry with me. I was 14 years old. I was freaking out. I thought I was going crazy. Literally thought I was going crazy. I was freaking out. And my mother says to me, "How can you not control your own mind?" That was devastating. Being a kid, feeling out of control, not knowing what to do, what it was, why I had it. It was horrible. And I didn't know what to say because I didn't know anything about it. But how can you not control your own mind? And that has stuck with me all this time. And I am now 43. So, when you come across somebody who has anxiety and panic disorder, or, you're with someone who it happens to hit them, because it can hit you at any time. It happens to hit them while you're there. Have some compassion. Talk to them. There's a lot of times where, again, you don't want to talk. You want to just go hide into the background, and you can't do that. You just can't do that. You have to force yourself, push yourself to continue doing what you're doing. Continue your day, your daily activities. And it's hard to do. That's really difficult to do. It's, I guess, distracting yourself. Talk to somebody, because, like, if I'm having bad anxiety, or it's on the verge and I feel it's about to, turn into a full-blown panic attack, I'll tell my husband, just talk to me. Just start talking to me. And then, he'll talk to me about all kinds of stuff and try to engage me in the conversation. And that helps a lot. Even though I don't want to do it, every fiber of my being is saying, just shut up. I don't want to do this. But I do it. If he's not around, I will talk to my kids. I will try to play with the kids. It's really hard to do, but you just have to do it. You have to make it a point to do it. That on top of self-talk, that everything's okay, you're safe, you're fine. What's the worst that's going to happen? And truly, it's true. What is the worst that's going to happen? You're going to freak out a little bit, and at least in my case, I'm just saying, just have some compassion, because this is nothing anybody would choose to have. And this is not being a hypochondriac. I've been called that. Although, I did have to straighten that out. Being a hypochondriac is a completely different issue than anxiety or panic. When I personally have anxiety, if there's something I feel is wrong, the issue happens first, then the anxiety happens. It's not the other way around. So, a hypochondriac is just always thinking you're sick and you're not. It's more in depth than that. But my issue is not that at all. I lead a normally regular life. But when something comes up, when something happens, that's when I shift into anxiety and panic mode. I wish I didn't, but sometimes I do. And there's nothing I can do about it because I can't control it. It's sort of hardwired into my brain. So not being able to control my own mind is true to an extent, only because it's anxiety that I can't control. I can't control when that pops up. That comes up for nothing sometimes. I mean, it's just going about my day and it hits. That I can't control. But what I can control is what I do about it. And so that's what I do. That's all any of us can do, really. So anyway, I'm sorry about the long rant, but, well, it's not even a rant. But today has been a tough, since last night, it's been a tough few hours for me. And I'm looking around at all the work I have to do because of Ayden's parties in 3 days, and I'll get it done. And I'm gonna go in the house right now, and I'm gonna get some decorating done. The sun is coming out. It's finally stopped raining. So there's the rest of the outdoor stuff that I have to get done. And I will. Because that's what I do. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that the next time you come across somebody with this condition, that you're sympathetic and understanding. And that doesn't mean feeling sorry. I hate it when people feel sorry for me. I hate that. Doesn't matter what the situation is. I don't like pity for myself. But just have some compassion at least. At least understand. Or try to understand that this is not something they chose. We don't wake up and be like, hey, I want to have anxiety and panic disorder. Nope. And it's not something that's easy to handle, because, oh goodness, it's not easy to handle. I think I've just had a whole lot of practice at it. So, like I said, you would never know right now if I didn't tell you. So, just be nice to one another, will you? I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in tomorrow's vlog.